All right, strap in, because today we're on a stakeout.
But not just any stakeout.
Oh, okay.
We're going deep into the shadowy world of Marvel's upcoming Blade reboot.
Okay.
Got your garlic.
Yeah.
Good, because we're diving into a Cinema Blend article that's got the internet buzzing.
We know you're hungry for details on this one, so consider this your all-access pass to everything Blade.
We've got release date drama, casting rumors, and even some hints at what kind of bite this R-rated reboot might have.
Okay, first things first.
Remember that Valentine's Day 2025 release date?
Yeah.
Well, scratch that.
Oh.
Turns out even daywalkers can't outrun the MCU's jam-packed schedule.
Cinema Blend confirms the new date.
November 7th, 2025.
Oh, wow.
It's a bummer, we know, but hold on to your hats because this delay might be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean...
Think of it this way. The MCU is a finely tuned machine.
Shifting Blade might mean they're ensuring it lands at just the right moment in the larger saga.
It's like they're setting the stage for something massive.
Plus, it gives them more time to polish those fangs.
Good point.
And speaking of polishing...
Yeah.
The details about the actual plot are still under wraps.
It's like they've used some kind of mystical artifact to make the script invisible.
Right.
Thankfully, Cinema Blend did unearth some juicy tidbits.
Oh, good.
Right, like the fact that they scrapped early ideas for a period piece.
That tells us they're not just going for a rehash.
Marvel's clearly looking for a fresh angle.
Something that captures the grit of the comics while carving out a unique space in the MCU.
I'm all for it.
Now, there's this other rumor floating around about a potential Midnight Suns storyline.
Okay.
Think of it like this. If the Avengers are here to save the planet...
The Midnight Suns are the ones you call when things go bump in the night.
Right.
We're talking Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and maybe even Blade leading the charge.
Our Cinema Blend article even dropped a tantalizing hint that Michael Giacchino, the director of Werewolf by Night, could be involved.
Yeah. That
would be something special.
Giacchino's got a knack for blending horror and superhero action.
And let's be real, nobody does brooding anti-heroes quite like him.
Imagine a dark and gritty team of supernatural misfits battling the forces of darkness.
With Blade right in the thick of it.
Okay, chills.
Actual chills.
Now, let's talk about the man himself, Blade.
Stepping into those iconic leather boots is two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
2 Oscars.
Talk about bringing the big guns to a vampire fight.
Ew.
It's a casting choice that speaks volumes about the direction they might be taking.
Ali's not just a phenomenal actor.
He's a master of subtlety and depth.
We know he can handle the action.
But imagine the layers he'll bring to Blade's internal struggle.
This isn't just a vampire hunter.
He's a man grappling with his own darkness.
Okay, and get this.
They've also added Mia Goth to the cast.
Oh, really?
If you haven't seen her in X and Pearl.
Trust us, she can bring the creepy like nobody's business.
What does her presence tell us about the vibe of this movie?
It screams horror, doesn't it?
Goth has this incredible ability to project vulnerability and menace all at once.
It's a potent combination.
And it has me thinking this version of Blade might be less about flashy action and more about psychological thrills.
Like, what happens when the hunter starts to enjoy the shadows a little too much?
Okay, now that is a question I need answered like yesterday.
Speaking of questions, remember how we were geeking out over a potential Blade versus Dracula showdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt those daydreams.
But let's bring it back to the real world for a second.
Okay.
We were talking about Mahershala Ali and his potential Jurassic Park project.
Right.
Could those rumors have teeth? It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Scheduling conflicts have derailed more than one superhero film, haven't they?
Yeah.
But let's be optimistic.
Right.
Maybe, just maybe, this is a good omen.
Think about it. If Ali's wrangling dinosaurs and battling vampires back to back...
It shows a commitment to those darker, more intense roles.
I like the way you think.
And speaking of darker and more intense...
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this Blade reboot is rated R?
Oh, yeah.
It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Totally.
We're talking about a half-human, half-vampire hunter.
This isn't a kid's cartoon.
It's not just about the blood and gore.
Although that's definitely part of it.
Right.
The R rating gives them freedom.
Freedom to explore the psychological toll of Blade's double life. Freedom to delve into the truly terrifying aspects of vampire lore.
And let's be honest.
The original Blade film.
As groundbreaking as they were.
Yeah.
Had to hold back a bit.
Imagine what they can do now with fewer constraints.
Okay, but hold on.
Before we get too carried away with all this R-rated hype, let's not forget about the story.
What do we actually know about the plot of this movie? Well, details are scarce.
And honestly...
That's probably by design.
Okay.
We want to keep us guessing.
Right.
But what we do know is just as important as what we don't.
Cinema Blend highlighted how the studio tossed out those initial period piece ideas.
Right.
Why is that significant?
Because it tells us they're not afraid to take risks.
To break the mold. They want a story that feels fresh and unexpected.
Not just a rehash of what we've seen before.
A fresh take on a classic character, I can get behind that.
As long as he's still rocking that leather trench coat.
Right.
But let's talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
We've got this potential Midnight Suns connection.
We've got whispers of werewolves and magic and all sorts of things that go bump in the night.
Where does Blade fit into all of this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
See, up until now, the MCU has mostly focused on the superhero.
But with Blade and the Midnight Suns, they're venturing into a whole new realm.
The supernatural.
Oh, okay.
It's a chance to explore the darker corners of the universe.
The ancient myths and legends that have always lurked beneath the surface.
It's like suddenly the MCU feels,
bigger and a lot more dangerous.
I mean, we've got Doctor Strange opening portals to other dimensions.
Right.
Moon Knight battling Egyptian gods. It's a whole different ballgame.
And maybe, just maybe,
Blade is the key to unlocking this entire supernatural side of the MCU.
And don't forget,
this isn't just about expanding the universe.
It's about exploring the human condition through a different lens.
The Midnight Suns.
They're not just fighting monsters.
They're fighting their own inner demons.
They blur the lines between good and evil, hero and monster.
Okay, before I spiral into an existential crisis about the nature of good and evil.
Let's get back to the man of the hour.
Right. For anyone out there who might be new to the whole vampire hunting scene.
Give us the quick rundown.
Okay.
Who is this guy? And why should we care?
Buckle up, because Blade's origin story is a wild ride.
Okay.
Imagine this.
A woman in labor attacked by a vampire.
Oh, gee.
It's a tragic scene.
Yeah.
But from that darkness...
a hero is born.
Okay.
See, Blade enters the world carrying both his humanity and the mark of the vampire.
Okay, talk about a messed up birth certificate.
Right.
So he's got all the vampire strengths, but not their weaknesses. He's got the enhanced senses, the speed, the strength.
But sunlight.
Garlic.
Those don't faze him.
Wow.
He even shrugs off that pesky blood-drinking urge.
Andy.
He's the Daywalker, a nightmare for any vampire who crosses his path.
The ultimate vampire hunter, forged in tragedy.
It's like Batman with a silver sword instead of batarangs.
Right.
But let's get back to this whole MCU situation.
Yeah.
We've talked about the potential, the horror vibes, that R rating.
But it all hinges on one thing.
Yeah.
Will this movie be any good?
Well.
The million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
We're all hoping Marvel doesn't drop the stake on this one. But based on everything we're seeing...
the cast, the director, the rumors of a deeper dive into the supernatural...
it seems like they're going all in.
they're not just checking boxes.
Okay.
They're building a whole new corner of the MCU.
And if anyone can make us believe in a half-human, half-vampire superhero...
it's Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
We've seen him disappear into roles before.
Bring a quiet intensity that's impossible to ignore.
Exactly.
We're not just getting an action figure.
We're getting a performance.
Okay.
Imagine him wrestling with the darkness inside him.
That constant push and pull between his human side and his vampire heritage.
Okay, now I'm getting chills.
Good chills.
But that brings us to the big question we've been circling around this entire episode.
Yeah.
How will Blade redefine what it means to be a vampire movie in the MCU?
Will it be a straight-up action fest?
Yeah.
A descent into psychological horror?
Or something completely unexpected?
We can speculate all day long.
But we won't know for sure until that opening night.
Right.
But that's part of the thrill, isn't it?
Yeah.
The anticipation, the what-ifs.
And one thing's for sure, the MCU will never be the same.
And there you have it, your crash course on everything, Blade.
We've talked release dates, casting choices, plot theories.
And even dug into those juicy comic book origins.
We've unpacked the potential, the challenges.
And let's be honest, a fair bit of hype.
A lot of hype.
But now we want to hear from you.
Yes.
As we eagerly await November 7th, 2025.
We leave you with this. How do you think Blade will redefine the vampire genre within the vast and ever-expanding MCU?
Let's know your thoughts, theories, and wildest predictions.
Until then, stay sharp.